I have no snare in my headphones. I do. I can hear myself actually way too loud. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't even know what to say. This isn't a vlog. This isn't a story time. It's just, I'm basically a news analyst. I'm a news reporter bringing you just the facts here tonight. I feel like the year is like early 2000s and I am in the middle of high school, just in the thick of it, of some juicy hip hop beef. And it's funny because I don't like drama, but for some reason, when you make that shit rhyme, I fucking love drama. Because when people are bickering about dumb shit that doesn't matter, I'm like, hey guys, kumbaya, we are the world. This shit don't matter in the big picture. But for some reason, when you make that shit rhyme, oh. Listen, you want to know what my favorite beginning of a song of all time is? Get ready for this shit. I ain't got no motherfucker. So I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker. Woo! That shit just gets me revved up, and I'm just staring at some dude while he's on the elliptical. I'm just looking at him, and I'm like, you claim to be a player, but And listen, I'll be honest, I am a God-fearing man. I don't believe in laying with your neighbor's wife. I don't believe in it, but for some reason, when it rhymes, I'm all for that shit. And listen, if you don't know, I have a past with hip-hop. I love to rippity-rap it up, as the kids say. I could out-rap every single goddamn mumble rapper there ever was. I don't give a shit. But I've always been self-aware enough to where I'm like, I don't know why people like this. Like when I would be writing music and I'm rhyming and I'm like, I'm just rhyming words. This is basically poetry. I wonder if it's like that satisfying thing, like, you know, when people see things that are organized, we like symmetry and we like when things are just neatly ba, ba, ba. And that's what can happen with a good hip hop artist. When you're able to tell a great story, stuff some puns in there, some punchlines, you put some bars in there, and you make that shit rhyme perfectly. You're following the rhythm, the ba 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 ba. You're staying in the pocket. The whole reason of this video, there's a man who goes by the name as Eminem. Eminem and I go way back. He has got me through some hard times. He's also got me in trouble. The first Eminem album I ever had was the Eminem Show. Had that shit on bootleg. It was in a blank disc, and I would put it under a stack of blank CDs. Y'all old people remember that? We used to have blank CDs. Like we used to buy them by like the stack of them. It was just a blank disc, and I would keep it hidden within those 50 blank discs. And the only way I knew which one was the Eminem one was that if you looked on the bottom of the CD, you could see that something was written on it. And it was the goddamn Eminem Show. Marshall Mathers. Dropping bars. And I'd hide it from my parents. I'd just be laying in bed at night. And I would just be like, bitch, I'm gonna kill you. You know? Nick Cannon, what are you doing, dog? This shit ain't cool. This is not what you want to do. I have received a plethora of messages today. And I know a lot of people online, sometimes they say this, be like, everybody's been wanting my skincare routine, so I'm posting it here for you guys. And no one really asked for it. They're like, so many of you people have asked me about my new earrings, so let me talk about them. No, this isn't that moment. I've never gotten so many replies about a goddamn meme I've posted. It seems like I am the Wall Street Journal of hip-hop beefs because I've been going down the rabbit hole, just educating motherfuckers on what is going on with this Nick Cannon Eminem diss. I'm taking it back to the old school days of hip-hop. Eminem comes from the old school of battle rappers who came up in that field. And Nick Cannon came up on like fucking Nickelodeon and Drumline and shit. I ain't with that shit. I ain't never been about Nick Cannon. There's something that's always irked me about him. And I was fucking walking around dressed up as like Jafar and shit. I saw like a thumbnail of him and I'm like, what are you doing, dog? It all started when Eminem dissed Mariah Carey. Having no other options, Nick Cannon just started posting a bunch of Bible verses. I was like, oh, I'm going to get you. And then instead, he just put Bible verses. Everybody knows you don't want to mess with Eminem when it comes to bars. Whenever a new Eminem song drops, if it's a feature, what it is, I check out the verse. What is everybody hyped up about this week? It is this new song that dropped called Lord Above. And this is why I love Eminem, because out of nowhere, he just starts dissing Nick Cannon, saying a bunch of shit about, he basically just said he was right about Mariah Carey. I was like, look, Nick, you fucked up, dog. They gave him one of these. And of course, Nick Cannon felt like he had to respond, but I feel like Nick Cannon is like the male version of The View, like something very superficial, wanting clicks and all this stuff. Like he went on T.I.'s podcast, and even T.I. was like, yo, Eminem, you don't want it with the white boy. Nick was like, I know, but like I invite him on my TV show on MTV too. And he's just super corny. I think this happens to people when they have no one around them giving them reality checks. Like if I was Mariah Carey, I would have been like, yo, Nick, don't worry about it. It's like a girl when she knows her boyfriend can get beat up by the bouncer or the dude's talking shit, and she's like, trust me, baby, they're not worth it. Let him save his humility. Mariah didn't do that. Someone around Nick Cannon should have done that, because I think people think all press is good press. That is like a quote that goes around all the time. Like, I don't even know where that originated from. I'd love to see the article that people are like, all press is good press. I don't think so, because not with the internet. This is like, we're in uncharted territory as far as old quotes that don't make any sense go. Oh, this is great exposure for my brand. You know, you think dissing Eminem with something like that. This is what I wanted to get into. He dissed Eminem in like the corniest way, and he was saying shit about like, oh, that baby that ain't even your daughter you're raising. Oh, gotcha. Motherfucker, that's like his like great niece or something like that. He's doing that for family, dog. I'll go full Greta Thunberg on you right now. How dare you? I would like to know who recorded that studio session, the producer, because it looked like a real studio. And they've probably heard real bars and just was like, yeah, that shit's fire, son. Can you go ahead and pay me? Like, I didn't get the Venmo yet for this session. I'm going to need that quick. And it's like his Wildin' Out crew. They've sent 2 diss tracks, and they're both so corny. One bar said something like, I literally cringed and went, ugh. He said something like, no wonder your name's Eminem, because you're a nut. Oh! Like saying something like that, do you think someone's going to be like, yo, that's pretty tight though. Eminem, nut. No one's ever made that connection before. Not even Eminem, not 50 times throughout his career, in more clever ways. And there was one part in the second diss where Nick Cannon was just rapping with Eminem lyrics, like he was just changing like one word out of it. And I'm like, dude, the only tight part of your diss track was when you were using Eminem's lyrics. That's kind of a red flag. I know Machine Gun Kelly is like selling tickets now and he's doing these tours. I'll even say Machine Gun Kelly, his diss track was a lot better than this. It wasn't bad. I mean, once I heard Kill Shot, I was like, all right, this is over. But when I heard Rap Devil, I was like, okay, might be the closest anyone has come to dissing Eminem and like doing good with it. I'll listen to Ja Rule clap back every now and then. Oh, that was such a good era. The 50 Cent beef with Ja Rule. This is what annoys me about people in general. When people aren't self-aware, they don't realize how bad of an idea something is or how bad they are at something. I don't like when people pretend to be thugs when they're not. Like Nick Cannon taking this persona on as like the video is very gritty and dark, and he had Suge Knight call from like prison or some shit. I don't even know. There's no verification that was really Suge Knight. Suge Knight's probably in jail like, what? Why did it say featuring me? It probably was a voicemail for some other Nick. He was like, yo, Nick Lachey. There was so much in this where they're like, Eminem, you ain't shit. You ain't no lyricist. Huh? That's all Eminem is. If you want to say Eminem, you ain't no gangster. Okay, well, you're probably right with that. But you want to talk about lyrics? You want to talk about bars? That's all the kid got. Eminem with this shit. He might not even diss back. Eminem went on Twitter and responded, and he says, you mad, bro? Stop lying on my dick. I never even had a chauffeur. You bougie fuck. Clown emoji. Eminem knows how to use a smartphone now. This is what a time to be alive, you know? I demand an apology, Nicholas. You've made my gardener so jealous. That's the way you gotta handle shit. Is like when you're just like, you made my gardener jealous. It would have been weird if Eminem came out and was so upset about that line. Be like, yo, did Eminem really suck someone's dick? Never know. And if he did, cool. I don't give a shit. It was just such a bad move on Nick Cannon's part, and the whole Wildin' Out staff and crew and management. Like, well, I don't know where they thought this would be a good idea. This is going to put so many eyeballs on our brand. And just for me, I hope Eminem responds. And no matter what, remember one thing. I love you. And I still have no snare in my headphone.